Right, so we just finished episode 1. This is technically episode 2. But at the end of episode 1, we started a conversation about DJing for exposure. We got so fired up that we just started talking about it, so we thought we might as well record it. Let's not waste these red hot opinions we're having.
So let's get bits. What did you say? Because you said it was an article that was written, right?
Yeah, I think it was Mixmag that did an article on their
About
blog.
DJs paying to play is their article.
Yeah, it was mostly just about paying to play. It wasn't about the exposure argument, but we can talk about that. But it was about generally the whole having to buy a ticket to play on an event, but also taking like a wad of tickets to sell to your mates, and whether that's
Have any of
right
you
or not,
ever done this? Have you ever paid to play or had to sell a certain amount of tickets to play?
I think that in the past, I think offers have been there, and I wasn't comfortable doing it. I was just not thinking a lot more of myself, but I just stopped and thought, I'm not the promoter, and I don't say it like.
So,
I don't want to do it. It's just that I thought that I could actually come and play. I might have put energy or effort into them.
So you don't agree with it?
Go. No, I'm not down with it, but maybe I'm out of date.
Do you agree with it?
No, I don't think anyone should agree with paying to play for that specific thing. But being on the other side of it and being a promoter that I've been, there is an argument to say of not asking people to pay to play, but expecting a certain level of promotion from an up-and-coming DJ for the event that you're playing on, or support.
Yeah.
Now, if the individual, isn't that great at promotion, isn't promotionally minded, that's fine, but at least they support the night you're doing. You'd expect that at the very least. So, I'm not paid to play is not down with that at all.
Okay.
That's existed in the live music sector for a long, long time, by the way.
Yeah.
Bands will pay to put themselves on big tours.
Yeah.
Or labels will pay.
Yeah.
For
I think that
bands
still
to put
happens
onto-
now.
That still happens. So it's slightly a more new thing for it to happen in the DJing side of things.
I guess. Is it more lucrative on the band side? I guess because if you're in big tours anyway, then you can already see the return value of the investment because you're in front of more people than you would normally have been. So you're paying to put yourself in that position.
Yeah, when a label does it, they have a lot of money to put behind a band.
Yeah.
They're putting them in front of a big crowd every night. When you're talking about exposure, that's a massive level of exposure. But that's a long-term goal they're doing because there's going to be an album from that band. This is not just like one individual up-and-coming DJ who's going to take a while to get to that album. So it's not the same thing. And I think a lot of the stuff that's come from the DJ side of things has been bigger like events, so like festivals now.
Yeah.
It's not just like a one-off gig
Yeah.
in a local club.
I heavily object to putting them all these people in one room. I think that's like you've seen like room 5, which is probably a corridor, and it's all the people that have done this, sold these tickets a bit like.
And you're next to
that's
a
a massive injustice because
if
you have done the thing. But I come from. So say where we've promoted events, we see it from both sides of the thing. And when I was like 16, 17, to get my first gigs, I used to have to go to the Opera House in Bournemouth and fly it outside. The Opera House is in Boscombe. I didn't drive. I had to go and fly it outside that and outside any clubs to get to play for free. So it's always existed. It's always there. But it used to be a lot more annoying because you have to carry fly halls of residence, fly outside things. This is what you have to do to get on. Now you can just click buttons, write statuses. I don't think it's a big ask for me to say, invite your friends to this. I've seen people moan about that, of doing a status. Like, let people know you're playing. You should be letting people know you're playing anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're playing it. Like, if you
why wouldn't you want to let them
if
know
you have a fan
there?
base, you should be letting them know. If you haven't got a fan base, then why am I booking you? I get, good DJ should be booked, and I'm also a massive supporter of. I would always try and create opportunities where DJs can progress just by being good DJs. I want more EZs and Andy C's. Like, obviously they do make tunes. Well, EZ made 2 tunes, I think, but they're just good DJs. Like, they're big DJs from beat. Like, that's what I'm a big supporter of that Annie Max. You know, people that just are DJs for DJ's sake, as opposed to they've done this tune which they may not have done themselves. And you know, like I'm not that I get that's a path, and I'm all for it. But I love that DJs can be just good DJs. So I'm all for it. But I think you know, you can book someone that's good, but you can't book 6 people that are just good with no mates. I can have one person who's just really good, but no one care. Like we can work to make someone care about how good they are.
Yeah.
But if I've booked 7 of them underneath a headliner, that headliner's got to be
like apocalyptically. Like
he's got to be selling like 6.
Yeah, as a
so
promoter,
you can take that risk.
Yeah.
if you have that luxury as a promoter because your headliner is going to sell out on its own, and so you can go, okay, well, I'm selfishly going to put on the best lineup I can possibly put on and not have to worry about any of the supporters bringing any tickets. Amazing, great, but it doesn't always work like that, and some people don't see it like that because they've not been on the other side. They don't understand as much that a promoter has to book certain people that are going to pull to a show as well as like the best people for the actual job. And it's not ideal.
But also, how do we know as promoters that the DJ is technically good, even if they're not selling how do without them offering, without creating some incentive for me to book them? How do you find out? Because we put we're doing a garage garden party August 17th sober. We do
plug strong.
We do the garden party, like people come in, I want to play this. How do I, as a promoter, differentiate which ones to book and which ones to not? If they're not if they can't sell me tickets, you know, how do I know they're the best? If on the other flip, how would you?
I mean, I guess it's easier now because people are documenting a lot more of what they do, and they're trying to build their own platforms and their own brands. You know, I'm not the best at it, but essentially what you guys have done is you've used every opportunity you've had to play anywhere to show people what happens when you play.
Yeah.
So without you even needing to say, this is what we do, you say, if I was an agent and your thing came through, or someone was like, who can I book here that's like, that kind of crosses over, that does this kind of thing, but I don't want that and I don't want this, and then oh my gosh, what about those guys? And then there's a video. So people are actually being able to. I like the fact that people can document what they actually do now and capturing what happens.
So if you were starting now, bang today, and you're gonna want to get into this circuit, how would you do it now?
Now, if I had to attack it fresh today,
what would you do to make people want to book you?
I guess I'd have to find a way to, like, say, stand out, or to do something that kind of made me look different or felt different about what I was doing. So maybe you actually, literally in my head now, all I can think is content plan. Like, I've gone straight to business, and I'm like,
content is king, isn't it?
You've got to build something now because you've got your own way of getting stuff out. You can almost apply pressure to everyone else. I always say, like, okay, building like content on your socials or getting something done, or like an honest blog or a little diary of what's actually happening, and something that you can actually just say that is raw and it's you. You haven't put too much time or energy into what it looks like. You're just capturing that whole process. I've gone very Gary Vee all of a sudden. What would you say, Chris? I'm chiming out.
I would find the nights that I wanted to play on and support them.
Heavily.
I would reach out to the promoters of those nights. I would tell them what my intention was. That, you know, I like what you're doing. I'm an up and coming DJ or an artist. Like, I would like to be a part of this, but I would support it. That doesn't mean I would pay to play on it. But I would be a part of whatever they had going on. From anything from visiting the nights from start till finish, supporting their warm up DJs. Because it's about building a community as well as building your own profile, because it will come back around. It isn't. We know how much about it's networking. And that person doing that warm-up set could be the person that's going to give you a set a few months down the line from their own party that they're doing. Go and support the nights. Go and support the other local DJs, because then they should come and support you when it's your turn. I would, if the promoter needs anything from you, helping set up decor. You
just
know,
find a way to be
doing some, if they're still doing and just get a foot in the door with that way. Even if it's not a promoter, if it's a venue that you want to sort of, you've seen a venue keep doing nights and stuff, it also helps to put your name to a face for the promoter. I've received so many mixes from people in the past that I've never met. And you tend to have the people in your mind of the people that you've met that have backed that up. So when it does come around to you wanting to fill up a lineup, oh yeah, I've met that person the other week, and like
so this goes to when I was saying, how do you separate these people that message? That's how you do it.
It's taking action then, I guess. It's actually being out there. So we can sit down and write down all the stuff we're going to do, but essentially you've still got to go out and do it. You've got to find that place where you would really like to be and then get familiar. Yeah,
so I suppose we live in a time where attention span's so short, and you have to see something probably 3 times at least before you take in, actually, I should click that story. I keep seeing it, or I should look into this song, people keep posting it. So it's the same sort of theories. So you can't just send a mix and then go, I can't believe he hasn't booked me. You have to make sure that same promoter, he sees you at the club, or you message him, I can help you with this, or even if it's, I work at this shop and I can put this post. But it's what you're saying is just you adding value from a work, but selling tickets is also value as well. So you could just sell tickets if you're a popular guy.
Yeah, if you are fine with selling tickets, if that's your thing, then crack on. Because I know people that have got sets from doing that, and they're fine with doing it. They're not necessarily paying to play to put on a thing, but they have got, that's their value, like you say. Like that's what they can bring to the table, sort of thing. Because up and coming promoters, and I don't know if people sort of see it that way, they're not rolling in it.
No,
a lot of these people have put in their financial, their whole life on the line with some of these gigs that you sort of see.
Yeah, we've lost some big money doing it.
And I think people kind of forget that a little on the other side. So it's like, help them out as well, because it will come back for you. It will come back around. So I get with the selling tickets where that argument comes from independent promoters. Now, if we're talking about established promoters, big companies, when they're taking advantage of people, that's just purely taking advantage.
There you go. You said already, it's taking advantage. They're not trying to pivot anything or put them in a better space, or maybe even say give them a chance. They might become someone that could actually work with. Do you know what I mean? They're just
they're just taking advantage.
Yeah, exploitation almost.
Yeah,
but also in argument to that, as FooR, so we obviously have 5 years in and get big bookings and get paid an okay amount of money. We last year, I won't say who's for, we did a booking for a big company who do lots of events, and it wasn't very much money, and it was very, very far away. So loads of money to go there. So if you class that as paying to play, well, I don't know, but it's very thing. But from that gig, they now book us on everything.
Yeah.
Our manager come to think from that gig, our manager heard of us, and then because manager, big up Scott, heard from the promoter and our PR guy around the same time. From that gig, we got a manager, we got other gigs, we got things. So that's a big company not paying us some money. Is there not an argument that sometimes exposure is actually a thing? As much as no, we want money. They have given us some money to cover the thing, but even if it's not enough money, or if it was no money, I probably still would have done it.
That's the difference then. So you said already, even if it didn't pay you, there was still going to be a gain for you and for other people, because you were going looking with that opportunity. Because you would have known that was a chance for you to show other people what you're capable of. Because your goal was maybe to attain business, right?
Yeah.
And you did it.
Yeah.
So that was a business decision. That's a risk. That's a business thing.
So we're saying is you can DJ for exposure.
You can, but you were already established.
I
what
think
we're
there's a difference though.
People that aren't quite there yet, because you would take, that's a step forward for you.
Yeah.
In career, because now you're exposed to new people, but you've already built a brand. We're talking about kids that have pipe dreams.
Oh, okay.
And you're saying ticket selling.
Yeah.
But there is a difference between playing for free for exposure, which is done on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
Look at that. But playing for free for promised exposure and also asked to be in sold tickets. I think that's a step too far. That's like, come and play this thing for free because the exposure is going to be good and you're going to have a 6 time. Yeah, cool. Oh, also, here's 50 tickets. Can you please sell those? If you don't sell those, you're not playing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's messy.
Too much.
I'm not down with that.
But playing for free, we've all done it. We've done it a lot.
Yeah.
Probably
a lot more than we'd like to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it.
That nervous laugh we all do. You don't know.
Listen, you've got established artists that play Glastonbury for free.
Yeah.
Let's be real about that. But it's the level of what you're exposed to, whether you think it's worth it or not.
And also then that's a great example. Like Glastonbury don't famously pay the full wage that everyone would request if people are paid to go. There's donations that are made to charity, but people go because everybody's gonna be there. So just like you went to your event to get a step forward, to take yourself into a new position, to be able to do more, a lot of people are looking at a lot of those opportunities in that respect.
And also, there's another festival which I won't mention, because they have booked us.
Congratulations.
but their headliner basically the headliner we know the year before. A headliner got paid 1/10 of what they usually get paid, and were offered 2 guest lists and had to threaten to pull out because they were only given 2 guest lists. Like, well, I've got a tour manager and a videographer and a this and a that. If they can't come, I can't come, and that's someone who gets lots and lots of money, can sell lots and lots of tickets, and is a headliner. So even they do gigs for exposure. It's not just on the way up or a thing. Some of these things, Glastonbury, we commit to this thing. I don't know how well known this other how
the one you're doing,
yeah.
But they've seen it as an opportunity. Then
even the biggest DJs in the world do certain things for its exposure is a thing. But as you say, it's a case by case basis. That's the best thing. And you say it's a business decision. Like, am I doing this to actually get exposure, or are they chucking exposure around because they're jokers?
Yeah, and I think they take advantage as much as the fact because they can, because there are hungry people that are chomping at the bit
and they'll
to do anything they can and do it. And I don't know where the answer is. I don't know if the answer is for the individual to take a stand, collectively, everybody to go, we're not down with this. Because as much as you might not want to sell 50 tickets and stuff, and this is not, this is just the way it is at the moment, there is going to be someone that wants to sell those 50 tickets to get on that festival lineup.
100%, yeah.
I mean, it sucks.
I think the advice of going to the nights you want to be part of, supporting if someone a DJ you're into is coming to town, you got to be letting the promoter know. That's the best. That's the best advice, isn't it? Because it doesn't. Well, it's going to pay to get in, I guess, but it doesn't cost. You'd probably want to go anyway if you like the DJ, surely. So
so it's a win. You're turning like a passion or a hobby. You're turning that into like a way of life for yourself. You're surrounding yourself in that environment, and you're getting very involved in it. Yeah, and it also means that if you were then asked to sell something, you don't see it as not an extra job or a burden, but you see that as you making a contribution to that. And that's something that's always going to be in your favour. So I guess in that respect, if you're trying to immerse yourself in something, which you say is the best advice, which I really do agree with, then you're just trying to make yourself a part of that community, along with everybody else that pays to come on the dance floor, right?
100%.
Do you know what I mean? You're embedding yourself in it, and I think that's a healthy thing, and you add value to it. But the off-the-cuff bits and pieces, like getting asked to do something late, and then they're like, oh, but tickets, and you kind of like, oh, hold on, you've come to, not it's like you've come to me, but it is one of those things is like, well, why have you asked me if that's a need? Like, it's not anything you couldn't do, but imagine if you actually gave, and it sounds really savage to kind of say, but the best way to say it is just, I think if you're going to be on events or you're going to be part of something and you're not like fully in, or you're not fully down with that cause, I think it becomes a bit of a, well, for me personally, it becomes a bit of a clash of ideals. Maybe it's just to check the ego and do the thing. Yeah. But then I'm like, what? I don't know what difference that would make. That doesn't mean I'm doubting whether I'm good enough to do what I'm asked to do. But if I'm only based on what I'm going to sell, then I almost want to take myself out of the race, because I know that's not the real judge of what's happening for me. Yeah. Because I've confessed to you before, and I even said when I was younger, I was shit at promoting stuff, but could throw a birthday party and people would turn up. And I'm like, okay, that kind of works. But I think on that merit, it's kind of different things. If you try and flip something that's social into a little bit of a business, I don't know, I feel like sometimes it takes a sting out of it. All the fun kind of disappears and it becomes real serious. So I'm not... It's weird because I can say one thing and then back it up. I can say something else and back it up.
I think the common ground with every point we've made in every scenario, whether it be, say, immersing yourself in it, adding value, selling tickets, promoting it, doing it for free, every single thing that all boils down to is you're letting promoters know you exist.
It's about
everything is about
known.
that. If we don't know you exist, you can't be booked. So that's the first thing, is like, I'm here. However you present yourself. If you're a great promoter and you're really popular, I can sell you tickets. If you're a great DJ, here's my mix and another way. you've got to let them know it exists and put yourself in the race. I suppose that's everything we're saying. Oh, I've got amazing content. Look, loads of people watch this video. Loads of people listen to this mix. However, the common ground is you've got to let people know you exist.
You've got to put it out there. Because the number one, as I read it in a book quite recently, and it keeps echoing around in my head, but like the number one problem with like anything not working is that people don't know that it's there.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got to make people aware of you and what you offer, service-wise, value-wise, entertainment-wise, whatever it is. I'm still getting to grips with that. I'm not fantastic at it. I'm hoping to make a change in how I do that for myself. But I watch other people's examples, and I don't want to copy what they do. I want to be myself in that interaction, but it's like, how do I do that and make it mine? You know?
Yeah. So that's the closing point then. Is find a way to let promoters know you exist, or customers, however you want to do it. Look at what other people are doing, other DJs you like, promoters you like, clubs you like, doing the stuff you like. Look at what they're doing. What can you add? How can you add value, or what can you take from them and use for yourself? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, just tuck the ego in. Just do it.
Tuck the ego in. What's your
And if no one's gonna book you, book yourself.
Yeah, that's. Oh yeah. So we had to do that. Like we had to. Doesn't have to be massive either. If you do like a second room or a little 100. Well, you did. So we're saying disclosure for 200 people and 100 people came. But if you're getting 100 people to something, you're getting 100 people to something. Like, as other promoters will notice it, that's one way of knowing that you do exist. Oh, I've just seen this party's happening and they've booked, disclosure's not a great example in this stage, like a DJ that is bubbling. They've took the gamble, or they've just put themselves on.
Do some mad house parties.
Oh,
Just get 100 people to a house party and have it rocking. Like, it doesn't need to be a venue always, because venues sometimes don't see the plight of the independent promoter and decide to put a £500 monkey on your back and be like, oh yeah, fill the room.
Takes the
first
fun away.
500 quid already without I've not booked anyone yet.
Yeah.
So do a house party.
That's a
like
great
there are options to make yourself known.
Yeah.
To other bigger promoters or venues in the city. They're looking, they'll see what's going on. Just document that house party.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, make it skins.
Get a good mate. Get a good mate as a videographer on it and make it look like.
Well, did you see that Salado after party at something?
That sort of stuff,
I went to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you sent a video, if you're a promoter, look, I did this. Maybe not that because it's an after party.
You don't need Solomon there.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'll tell you what.
It's not like.
I will tell you something.
Name.
Christoph is a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke to him for a long time. I can't remember about what, but there was
loads
a
of
lovely
people
guy.
at that house party.
What day was that on? That was the most random thing.
It was like Sunday morning, wasn't it? Like it, but he went into Sunday day.
Was there a couch in the garden?
I've been to some really well organised house parties. There's been smoking sections and balloon sections and all types. Like I was thinking, okay, this is really all the furniture was out. There was lights. The sound system was like this. Yeah. And I suppose if you went to a promoter, I put this party on, and 60 people come. That means
work within your means.
Yeah, 100%.
Do another one. Plan another one next.
I might send this video to a promoter. Go, look, I've got four or five people here.
Charles Rip would come in, bring him in.
So yeah, I think that's, to be honest, I told you we'd be good at this. I told you we'd be good at advice.
I really want to do a house party now, if I'm honest.
Yeah, so available for house parties, everyone on this thing. Just to show our value, just to get some more booking. So I think we've covered that. I think that's good advice. So yeah, I think really. So I think we've covered everything there. Some good advice there. Some hot takes there. If you've think we've missed anything, or you've got any advice or anything you think we've missed, please put in the comments and we'll come back to it. But we smashed that, to be fair. But please let us know what you think, and see you again soon.